It looked like I forgot how to turn it on for a second. Hi, everybody. So this is a live stream that I am using to do a bit of catch up with the films. So if you are watching this on the replay, hello, thanks for giving me your time. I see that Elaine's here. So hi, Elaine. I don't know if you've seen the films that I'm going to talk about, but only one of them is in the cinema. So you may have access to some of these, but I don't think you watch that many films, Elaine, dear. So maybe not. But I'll just give you a bit of background to this part of the channel. So I kind of started a new direction on the channel last summer, and I did a thing called Summer Movie Madness, which was 20 films in 40 days. That's what I decided to watch. I thought I wanted to increase the amount of films I watched, partly because 2 years running, but especially that previous year, the Oscars happened and I hadn't seen any of the nominated films. And I thought, well, that's not good for someone who loves films. So I thought, clearly, I need to give more time to films. And that was a conscious effort last summer. I was obviously, because I'm a teacher, I was off for the summer. So that meant I had the time to stay up late and watch films. And so the first thing I did was this Summer Movie Madness, which was 20 films in 40 days. And then since then, so that was in July and August. And then since then, I've done little catch-up videos where I've talked about the films I've watched. I've done about 3 others, I think. And now this one is really a massive catch-up because I haven't done one since January. So I did one in January, but I didn't do one in February or March or April until now. So this is a big old catch-up of the films I've seen. The other thing to say before I get going is I lost I can't find my main notebook, the one I use for the Lost episodes as well, the Lost watch along and all sorts of things like, and it's all filled up. There's only a few pages left because I filled it up with loads of notes I've made for my videos and that. So I found my newest one of my newest ones. I've got a couple on the go, and I had to redo the notes. So I don't think I've remembered every film, but I'm going to talk about 13 films in this live stream. I'm going to talk about 13 films. And because I haven't got all the notes, I don't know if it will be the same as if I would have done it with the previous notebook. But I will tell you how much I like the film. There's a whole gamut of fantastic to just okay. I don't think I've seen anything bad. No, I think everything I've enjoyed to a particular degree, and some I've absolutely loved, but some have just been okay, you know. But there has been some absolutely fantastic moments here. So, is it 13? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13. Right. So just say hello to Elaine on camera. So hi, Elaine. And then she says, listening as I make supper. So that's all good. So thanks, Elaine, because I think you're possibly the only one here. But that's good. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's not... This is about me drawing a line under the other ones. I've just stopped talking about films, and I quite like doing these things where I do a little catch up on the films I've seen. So it's not necessarily about the views. That none of those videos have got particularly good views, but it's I like doing it. So doing it this way means that I can do that catch up. You know, I've got some 0 sugar Coke with me, which is what I take to the cinema. And I'd normally have crisps as well. I have actually got some crisps down here, but I don't think I'll eat them as I'm talking. Yeah, I had some, these are like kettle chips. These are hand-cooked sea salted crisps. So I have been eating them as I was making notes. But I don't think I'll eat these while I'm chatting. But they're very nice though. I quite like those big, massive hand cooked crisps. So anyway, what am I going to start with? So I'm going to kind of do this in order that I've written it, which I might switch it towards the end because there's a couple I'd like to finish on. But just to start off with, I'm pretty sure this was via Amazon Prime. I saw a kind of documentary about Paul McCartney and Wings. And it started off in the first sort of 10, 15 minutes was about him and the split of the Beatles and how they broke up and the whole kind of furore about that. The fact that he didn't want it to split up, but they were pretty much split before they split. They'd had enough. And John Lennon was the first one to leave, but didn't want to tell anyone. And Paul McCartney, controversially, was the first one to actually announce it, that they'd split up. And then he starts Wings, and it's really like the documentary is mostly about Wings, which is a really interesting documentary. I thought it was really good. And I really enjoyed it. I was never a massive fan of the stuff he wrote for Wings, but his solo stuff, some of his solo stuff's brilliant. And actually, it was just there was a real appreciation of his relationship with Linda, and just the kind of trajectory and the fact he had to start again. And there's a great bit where he talks about he really loved playing live with Wings because it was something they couldn't do as the Beatles. And I thought that was a really nice bit in the documentary. So that documentary came out in, well, I think it came out this year. So that was a really good thing to see. Elaine just said about potato chips. Yeah, you would call them potato chips. We call them crisps. Love kettle chips, malted vinegar and salt. Yeah, I like salt and vinegar crisps. These are just ordinary, just salted ones. But I quite like that. We nickname them. We nickname crisps that are just salted, plain flavour. So I do like plain crisps as well, which is what those are. But I do like salt and vinegar. Sometimes you're not in the mood for how harsh salt and vinegar crisps are, though. And I think my go-to is cheese and onion. That's probably the most. I think it's the most popular flavour in the country. But I definitely very much like cheese and onion flavoured crisps. So anyway, so that was the first film on Amazon Prime, and then I've written down two films I saw pretty early on in this period. So beginning of February, I watched two Norwegian films that are like kaiju films. It's Constance. Constance said should be here. Hi, Constance. This is when it gets interesting because I'm sure with a documentary about Paul McCartney, you know what to expect. I did not know what to expect with these two films. And one was made in 2022. And I watched that because they just released a sequel to it. So this was Troll and Troll 2. So the Troll films are where you've got the thumbnail that I made for this. And it's actually a thumbnail I made quite a while ago when I was just going to write, when I was going to do a video called Movies I've Seen in February. And that was what I'd made for it. But I retitled it because I thought, yeah, this is obviously a better way of doing it. And didn't get to the one in February. So Troll and Troll 2, I really, really enjoyed. It's kind of playing around with Norwegian folklore, but it's ultimately a big monster movie. But it takes itself seriously. They're investigating what this strange thing is happening around this mountain that's supposed to have this sort of history of the trolls being there back in thousands of years ago. And the legend says that one of them may have survived, and it just basically it sort of awakens and then wreaks havoc on the town. And these Norwegian scientists have to try and solve the problem, try and deal with this massive troll that towers above the town. And it's just really cool. I really enjoyed it. So Troll 2 was kind of the same sort of thing, but with slightly different characters and slightly different situation. But it was really good fun. I really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend that. Those were on Netflix. So if you've got Netflix and access to those two Troll films, the first one was better than the second one, but they were very similar. So I enjoyed both of them, but I really enjoyed the first one, partly because I didn't know what to expect. So yeah, Troll 1, 2022, and then Troll 2 was 2025. Constance said hello to Elaine. Tell Elaine I said hello. Elaine, Constance says hello. And then Elaine's back here, which is cool. So yeah, those two films, definitely recommend them. I thought they were a lot of fun, and I think things like that you can do them in a jokey, like humorous way, ironic way, and it's fun. But I like the fact that those two films took themselves seriously, because I don't know, it sort of stays with you a bit more. It seems more, there's more peril in it. You get more immersed in it, I'm going to switch the next two around because I'm not ready to talk about that one yet. I did see a film that came out in 2025, which is a really interesting film that I saw. For me, I saw it on Now TV. It's a British film. I don't know how you'd see it if you didn't have that, but if you can find it anyway, it's called The Ballad of Wallace Island. The Ballad of Wallace Island. It's a very sweet, gentle film. It's a drama about three characters, pretty much. But mostly about a very lonely man on an island, on Wallace Island. I think it's one of the remote Scottish islands. I think that's the idea. And they have to, and basically what's happened is this guy has won the lottery, and he's spending his lottery money by paying for his favorite artist that he's been like obsessed with for years to come over and do a gig just for him. But he lies to him and tells him that he's booked him for a festival on that island. And when he arrives on this boat in the middle of nowhere, and the main character, played by Tim Key, who's a comedian, he picks him up at this spot on the island. It's not even a port, it's just this spot on the island. He picks him up and he tells him, he kind of greets him, says, "Oh, welcome to the island." He's like, "So who's playing at the festival?" And he's like, "It's just you." And he's like, "Oh," and then he tells him, and the audience is just me. And then the guy wants to leave straight away, but you can't leave the island. You can only do it like once a day or something. And then the next day, he gets this news that someone that he had a relationship with and it ended really badly, that was his musical partner for years, he's also booked him. This other guy's also booked him. So there's this like really awkward moment where this woman arrives, played by Carey Mulligan. Carey Mulligan's amazing, right? And basically it just pans out from there. It's such an interesting premise, and the guy that hired them is really awkward. He's not got any social skills. But he wants to see this couple play again as a duo. It's kind of like a folk duo, but the guy that he's hired has gone on and done other things since then. He's kind of left that world behind him, and it's this acrimonious relationship that he's forcing these two together. It's a really good script. I really enjoyed it. So The Ballad of Wallace Island, definitely recommend it if you've got access to it. It's a British film that probably didn't do like amazingly well box office wise, so I don't know if it's traveled around the world, but it's very good. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a bit different. I'm still gonna skip the one that I've written just below the Troll films, hoping I'm not going to forget this. I really hope I don't forget one of the most incredible films, but I want to do it a bit later on. I'm just going to get to these for a second. Bob just said Troll is real. Well, yeah, that's the thing. It looked real in the film. It was done so well, and it could be the Norwegians. There's this sense that some people still believe the Sasquatch is around. Some Scottish people believe the Loch Ness monster is still around. It could be that the Norwegian folklore, they haven't really let go of it. That they still think there's like all these huge trolls around. That'd be great if that's true. Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi. Thanks for popping in. There's a few more here, so if you want to say hello, that'd be cool. And Elaine says hi. So that's the Paul McCartney documentary, the 2 Troll films, and I've just talked about Ballad of Wallace Island. The next one was a Spanish film, which somebody recommended, and I think it might have been Constance. So you're here, so you can tell me if this is true. It's either you or Heidi. Oh, hi, Uncle Gareth. Is that George? Tell me if that's you, George. If it is, that's very cool. Wilfred Langside. I mean, well, it could be one of my students making a joke, but I'm thinking it might be my nephew. If it is, hi. So, hold on. Do you watch the movie by yourself? Most of these, I'm having a look. No, not all of them. About 6 of them I've watched by myself. But some of them I watched with my wife. So I'll tell you what my wife thought of them as well. And there's one that we saw in the cinema. But there's a bunch of them we watched together. There's 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 in all. There's 3 that we saw on our TV and 1 in the cinema. So we have seen some together. But she goes up early so I can watch films here in the evenings. I'd rather watch them with other people. It'd be much better. But some of the things that I watched, she definitely wouldn't want to watch. She wouldn't want to. I don't think she would have watched the Troll films. And the one that I keep shunting for later on in the live stream, she definitely wouldn't have watched that because it's quite an intense horror film. But I'll get there in a minute. And this next one is a horror film as well that I was going to talk about. Yeah, it's me. Nice one, George. I hope you're okay. And thanks for popping in. We need to catch up. We need to have a chat. So George lives in Canada. He lives in Winnipeg. So 20 years ago, my sister moved to Winnipeg with her 3 boys. So George is one of them. But George is you're an old man now, mate, aren't you? You're not a little kid. You're a little kid then, but now you must be about 30 years old now. Wow. Yeah. About that. You must be more than that. You must be like, you're old. But yeah, he lives in Winnipeg, so I don't get to see him much. But it's very cool that he's here. So yeah, the 2019 Spanish film I was going to talk about was Platform. So if someone in the chat recommended it to me, I think it might have been either Heidi or Constance, let me know. I thought it was fantastic. It is really, really intense. Really intense. It's compelling. You don't know what's going to happen next, and you don't know how it's going to end. It's like it's a strange situation where a guy can you can volunteer to go into this kind of prison setup, and you're in these different levels, and there's like hundreds of levels, and right at the top they put like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of food on this platform, and then it goes down, and then that's the only food you get. And as it goes down, the different people on the lower levels get whatever's left over, and it just becomes really savage. And then you wake up suddenly and you're on another level. And halfway through the film, there's a couple of characters that decide that they're going to try and beat the system and try and start kind of a revolution on the platform. And it's very violent. It's very intense. It's a fantastic idea. There is a Platform 2, which I haven't seen. And I don't know. I saw the trailer for it. And it seemed like, on the one hand, it was the same as the first one. But on the other hand, it kind of maybe lost a bit of the essence of it. So I'm not sure. I don't know what I got from the trailer, really. But the first one, just called Platform, was brilliant. Really, really brilliant. Really compelling. Really good. So Elaine says, Bob and I do that. Our TV downstairs, so I stay up and read. Right, so what, he watches TV downstairs and you read upstairs. Is that the thing? Yeah, she says that she's got back pain and stuff, so she goes up early for that reason. Go Canada. Hi, George. Constance says, hi, George. I heard about that platform movie. Did you mention it in a video? Yeah, I think I did. And I think someone recommended it. It was on a live stream with me and Dave. I think someone recommended it when me and Dave were doing our live show. So I don't remember who it was. So I'm not sure. I thought it was either Constance or Heidi, but maybe it wasn't. George says hi back. Hi, Constance, George says. So yeah. I'm going to do a little recaps as I go along because there's people just joining in and stuff. So I did the Paul McCartney film. Then I did the 2 Troll films. And then Ballad of Wallace Island. And then Platform. Okay, the next one is ridiculous. Oh, hold on. The Platform is a chef's nightmare. You watch? Yeah, George is a chef. Did you watch it from that perspective? Like, don't get any ideas. It's not a good idea. It's not really an ideal way of delivering food. It's great the way that there's like this sort of elitist kind of the top layer. You've got these people making food, and it looks like it's a really posh restaurant, and it's all like hustle and bustle of these chefs making this amazing food. But then obviously, once it goes down a few levels, it's just not even just scraps, but it's also there's blood and there's bits of body, there's all sorts of things on there. Right, so Constance is saying it's definitely not her. So we're wondering if it might have been Heidi. Elaine says, hi, George, you're a couple of provinces over. I'm in Ontario. Oops. Platforms on my watch list. Oh, okay, so you haven't seen it yet. I'd love to know what you think. It's quite unique, I think. And yeah, there's a lot of food involved, but not very enticing food. It's got to be said. Heidi says it wasn't her. What's the Omega Man again? Oh, nice. Yeah, I love the Omega Man. I tell you what, though. Oh no, you didn't like it. You just liked Charlton Heston. Oh, I like the Omega Man. I rewatched the Books Made into Films video I did recently, and I make a really weird cock up in what I'm saying. And at one point, I definitely didn't mean it, but I definitely say that the Will Smith version of I Am Legend is one of my favorite films. I thought I was saying one of my favorite books. So that was a bit silly. I might do a little pinned comment on that video because it ain't one of my favorite films. But yeah, the Omega Man was the I Am Legend. It's one of the 4 adaptations of I Am Legend. There's the Omega Man, The Last Man on Earth, I Am Legend, and I Am Omega, which is terrible. I Am Omega is the worst one. The Last Man on Earth is very accurate to the book, but it doesn't work for me because Vincent Price is playing the main character, and it just looks really weird. It doesn't fit. So Charlton Heston, I think, suits the character better, and I think he suits it better than Will Smith as well. But they put all sorts of other things in the Omega Man film. There's like a religious group in it and stuff. But I enjoyed it. I like it. I've seen it several times. I watched it with my son actually as well, and he really enjoyed it. Elaine says, "Oops, my bad. I've one province over." Did you have a think about it? I'm going to check the map. Is that what you were thinking? Anyway, so that was the Platform. So I would recommend it, but only if you got the stomach for it. Oh, Jeff's here. Nice one, Jeff. He loves the Omega Man. Yeah, I like the Omega Man. The Omega Nan. That's a great typo. The Omega Nan. That's a much slower film. I'm slamming Vincent Price. I know. I love Vincent Price, but I don't think he suits Last Man on Earth. He's very good at doing strange, creepy, eerie people, whereas Robert Neville in I Am Legend is supposed to be like an everyman. And there's nothing wrong with Vincent Price's performance in the sense that he clearly is doing that. He's much more subtle than he is in his other films, but it still seems weird. It's still, he's got this very towering presence, and he's a very tall man, and it looks like he's dominating the room. And I don't think Robert Neville should be dominating a room. It should just be there like an ordinary bloke. So yeah, that's why. I mean, to be fair, I don't think there has been a proper version of I Am Legend at all, and I love the book so much. So yeah, I don't think there has been a really good one, really. But you know, Last Man on Earth is the most accurate. The Omega Man's my favorite, and Will Smith's I Am Legend. I get why they did what they did. I get it. Oops. Totally agreed, Gareth. Vincent Price is all wrong for the part. And like, yeah, that's what I think, you know. And I don't normally think that should matter. I think you should just sort of go with it anyway. But because I don't think Mark Wahlberg should have been Sully, I think his name is, in oh God, what's it called? The Uncharted, the Uncharted film. I don't think Mark Wahlberg should have been that character, but I was very happy to go along with it, and I really enjoyed the film. I think it's underrated. I think it was criticised for wrong reasons, but I don't think Vincent Price was right for it. Not The Last Man. Brilliant. So, what actor would you cast now? Yeah, someone like the guy who recently played the Running Man. So I haven't seen the film, but I've seen the trailer several times, and I think that is a really good actor for that. The guy, it's just like seems like an ordinary guy, but it's got presence, got screen presence. So I haven't seen the Running Man, the new version. I really want to see it. But he would be good. The guy that played the main character in the science fiction series called Defiance. I don't know if you've seen that. I really like that series. And back in the day, I mean, he's older now and he's changed his look. But back in the day, Ben Browder, who played Michael Crichton, he would have been a good Robert Neville. So someone who's got that sort of plain but leading man, plain looking but leading man kind of. So not model looks, but like Matthew Fox maybe from Lost as well. That kind of can definitely work as a leading adult, but isn't a pin-up, you know. So something like that. So I can. So some people like that. I don't know if that helps, but yeah, those kinds of people. That'd be an interesting video, wouldn't it? Who would you cast? Like maybe get 10 books, and who would you cast in film adaptations of those books, even if they're books that have already been adapted? That'd be quite good. I like that idea. So yeah, what made me talk? Oh, that was because you guys did it. So someone, who was it? Was it Heidi or Constance? One of you two had just seen I am the Omega Man. Can't see who it was. It's Heidi. Yeah. So yeah, and if you've seen anything else, it'd be nice to bounce off that as well. So yeah, Paul McCartney, the 2 Troll films, Ballad of Wallace Island, Platform, and now I'm going to mention, and we go completely the other way now. So that was a really serious, horrific drama. It's not supernatural, so I don't know if you can call it a horror film, but it's certainly really, really horrific. The Platform from Spain. And now I'm going to mention a film that was a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect, but I thought, well, I'll just stick it on just so I can be in the conversation. But I didn't really expect a lot, but I really enjoyed it. And that was the Minecraft movie with Jack Black and was it Emma somebody who's in Wednesday? Was she in it as well? I think. And was Dwayne Johnson in it? Or have I just imagined that? I think he was, wasn't he? I think Dwayne Johnson was in it as well. It seems like forever ago that I saw it, but I quite enjoyed it, and the songs were funny. It was just really funny, so I didn't know what to expect, but it was really good. So yeah, the Minecraft movie is worth watching. So Heidi says, yes, do a video about casting. We can give you ideas. In this, is this thing on? Yeah. We can that could be a follow up. So on the show, you could suggest the film or the books, suggest the books I should cast, and then we could look at it. We could look at it in the show as well, rather than separate video. I'm not sure. Don't know if David would want to do it. If Dave wants to do it, we could. If he's not bothered, I could do it as a video. We've got a very special announcement coming up. We're trying to sort something out, trying to sort a date out. But Is This Thing On is about to get crazy. But I can't say anything yet. I don't think horror has to involve the supernatural. Yeah, I think it used to be the rule that if it was like tense and horrible things happening to real life people, then it's a thriller. But if it's a supernatural, then it's horror. But I think the definition's changed a bit because of serial killers and home invasion stuff, and some of the really intensely violent stuff that's happened in recent horror. So I just don't think that's a thing anymore. So yeah, I think you're right. I think the definition's morphed, and probably horror now is more likely to be not supernatural, probably now. Oh, Jason Momoa. That's right. That's right. Jason Momoa. It wasn't Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, Jason Momoa, of course. The ever likable Jason Momoa. Who do I like the most? Jason Momoa or Dwayne Johnson? They're both, I think, probably Jason Momoa, but they're both very likable, aren't they? And they both seem to be really nice people. Yeah. Awesome. It was him, yes. But I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was great. I recently watched Blade Runner after reading Philip K. Dick's Do Enders Dream of Electric Sheep. I loved the book and hated the movie. Wow. And it's shot very dark. Could hardly see anything. Wow. So you're clearly saying that, aware of how many people love that film. I love the film, but it's very different from the book. So it's one of those adaptations that's not really like the book. It's sort of, it's like they use the book as a springboard, you know, much like of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. You know, that's taken elements of the book and just done he just did his own thing with it. And I think that's true for Blade Runner as well. But I do love the film. I think it's brilliant. But you hated it. That's strong words. Strong words. This platform sounds speculative. Yeah, it's definitely speculative. You have to definitely suspend your disbelief. There's no realistic situation like that. It reminded me a bit of as far as the speculative element of it. It reminded a film I absolutely love called Cube, which is a very old film that, again, it's not supernatural, but you could call it a horror film. People stuck in this place, they don't know why they're there, and they're just sort of a series of small rooms, essentially cubes, and have to get out. I love that film. I think it's brilliant. Very small cast, unknowns. You don't know where the film's going. It's very good, and it kind of reminded me a bit of that, like a high concept thing, you know. And I love films like that. You better check with Olive. She gets busy. It's true. Got to check with Olive. Olive's the boss. Heidi, so Constance agrees with you on Blade Runner, which is interesting. And George says superheroes are out, video games are in. Maybe 7 big video game movies this year. Yeah. They've kind of taken over the big event films, the box office films. But I would say that there's lots of other films that come out that, you know, I mean, if you look at my list, I'm talking about 13 films, and none of them are those supernaturally ones. But obviously Minecraft one is a video game one. And you're saying that video games are more a thing now, and yeah, they are definitely. Yeah, I think people try and sort of find things to adapt all the time, because there's book adaptations happening all the time as well. There's comic book adaptations happening all the time, video game adaptations, and the video game adaptations are obviously sometimes TV series. So we had a fantastic adaptation of The Last of Us recently, and apparently someone told me they might be making a film of Red Dead Redemption. Oh my god, if they did that, that'd be incredible. But I remember when I was playing it, I was saying, "Oh, I should make a film of this," and my son was like, "There's no point, because this is like a film," which is true. But not everyone plays games, so it's such a great story. Reminded me of Snowpiercer, going by what you said. What platform? Yeah, I think it's that kind of high concept thing. So obviously with Snowpiercer, it was a train that kept moving, and you had the rich and poor struggle. And yeah, definitely, it's a really good parallel. Very much the same point to it, I guess. I love the film Snowpiercer. I'm a big fan of the director, Boon Young Ho. I forgot. I might have got his name wrong. I always have to double check his name. So Boon Jong Ho. I can't remember what his name is. Korean guy, absolutely amazing. I love his films. And Snowpiercer just blew us away. I watched that with Louis, and we said, we were like, we watched the trailer, we thought, oh, looks all right. And then about 20 minutes in, we both looked at each other and went, oh my god, this film's brilliant. And it's so good. I haven't seen the TV series because it feels like I've got to somehow watch a TV series of a film that I really loved. Why would I do that? But apparently the TV series is really good as well. But John Hurt's in Snowpiercer as well. And John Hurt, he always elevates a film into something brilliant. Hold on a sec. So yeah, love Snowpiercer. Really love it. Heidi says she watched Moon. Yes. The end was confusing. Oh wow. I'm surprised the ending was confusing. It's not like rammed home. It's not like really obvious, but obviously you get all those news reports as the end credits are running, and you see what he did and how the company's screwed. I won't give any spoilers about why they're screwed and what they're doing, but I love that film so much. Honestly, it's one of my top 3 of all time. Genuinely love that film. If I was just going to talk about serious films, Moon is definitely in my top 3. District 9 is the other one that would be in my top 3, and probably The Thing. But I love Moon so much. Absolutely love it. So I'm glad you've seen it. Sam Rockwell is amazing. Such a great. I think people. It's funny because you want to say he's underrated, but I think people do love him. I think people do rate him. But I don't know. I don't know if he's underrated or not. He might be underrated because he's so good. Right. Okay. So the next one. This was more of an ordinary film. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it's like one of those things that if you just wanted to sort of switch off and just have a little thrill for an hour and a half, then it's one of those kind of films. It's not memorable necessarily, but it's fun. It was a film that I saw on Netflix, I think it was, from 2021 called Run. And I don't know. I won't spoil it, even though I think it's pretty obvious what the plot is. But ultimately, if you watch the trailer, it tells you that there's a girl who's like a teenager in a wheelchair that's on the run from somebody she's trying to escape from. I don't think it says who it is in the trailer, so I won't say who it is. But the whole point is that she's trying to escape in a wheelchair. And the premise, it's like Misery. You know, obviously in Misery, the main guy, Paul, I think his name is, isn't it? He is stuck in that house, and that mad fan won't let him leave. And obviously the drama is the fact he wants to leave the house. That's kind of a bit like this in Run, but she does get out at one point. But she's in a wheelchair, and she's also got loads of other medical problems that makes it hard for her to just run away. So it was good. It was a fun film. It was predictable, but it's one of those things where you only know it's predictable once it's finished. It could have gone anywhere, but it did. It's got quite an unpredictable ending, I'd say, but not a stupid ending. So the ending's quite good, and it takes the plot somewhere you're not expecting it to necessarily. Maybe you might have expected it, but I didn't. Nor did my wife. This is what I saw with Hallie. And Sarah Paulson is one of the main characters. She's really good. She's really good in it. She's good at playing those kinds of characters. So I don't know if you know Sarah Paulson, but she's in it. I think the main actress has been in a few things now. The one that's in the teenager is in a wheelchair. I think she's been in a few things now, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, Run was from 2021. Just looked like a bit of a interesting thriller, you know. And then me and my wife watched Louis Theroux's recent documentary, Inside the Manosphere. So this is definitely one I should talk about on the channel. I could do a video about it, but I don't know, because I don't know. It's a very complex issue. It's very scary, but it's also probably quite inflammatory, and I'd probably get like, I don't know. I don't know. But if you know anything about it, it's this new trend that is becoming a real influence on young men and creating this very derogatory, anti-women, strange kind of uber hardcore definition of masculinity that's basically kind of ripping them off as well financially, but also just creating this wave of incels and people who are just, you know, idiots about gender and that kind of thing. So yeah, Inside the Manosphere is a very important documentary, as all of Louis Theroux's documentaries are. He's absolutely brilliant at doing this kind of thing. Yeah, it was just a real eye-opener. I'm going to turn my phone off because it's making a lot of noise. Yeah, it was a real eye-opener. It's quite horrible. The people that are in it, the people that Louis Theroux had as guests, if you like, that kind of investigating their lifestyle and what they did and how they earn money and how they influenced young men and all that. So yeah, if you do get a chance to see Inside the Manosphere, it was on Netflix over here. It's probably made by Netflix, so I think it's probably Netflix in Canada and the US. But it is brilliant. Louis Theroux stuff is always brilliant. So if you see anything that's got his name on it, go check it out. Heidi says, have you ever seen American Horror Story with Sarah Paulson? Season 1 with the haunted house and season 4 with the carnival and the clown serial killer. Both crazy, scary shows. I didn't. And I know my daughter was into it when it first started. And I don't know why I didn't. I don't know what it was about it, but I wasn't attracted to it, which is a bit odd, isn't it? But I know it's really good. I've only heard people praise it, say how good it is. So, and I quite like the idea that each season was a different story, wasn't it? But I think they used the same actors. Is that right? So different story, different setup, but the same actors. I think that's right. Maybe some differences, but yeah, it was great concept. Yeah, I've only heard good things. I haven't seen it yet. Constance says, love the carnival season, the freak show. I've seen bits of it. I think you need to see it properly. Sorry, that's the goat coming back. Yeah, carnival is such a great setting for any kind of horror thing, isn't it? That's got to be said. Right, so that was what have I done so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films. Right, I'm gonna have to do the one that I've been pushing back because otherwise I'll get lost. So this is a great film. I didn't want to do it straight away because I wanted to see if people joined the chat, but it's such a great film. This is oh, hold on. This is connected to what we were just talking about. Different stories, same actors. Yeah, that's right. Jessica Lange and Sarah Paulson were two big ones. Jessica Lange's amazing. Yeah. So I've seen Sarah Paulson in other things. I saw her in a great documentary about the feminists of the 70s that had oh God, what's the name? Catherine. Oh God. She played Galadriel in Lord of the Rings. I always forget her name. Catherine something. She was in it as well. She was. It was a brilliant series. Can't remember what it was called, but it's about the feminist movement. But yeah, but anyway, Sarah Paulson was really good in that as well. So yeah, this film I'm going to talk about now, it's from 2022. Oh yeah, Kate Blanchett. That's right, Jeff. Well done, Jeff. Kate Blanchett. She played a real person, a right wing commentator and politician. I think she was a senator's wife, and she was pushing back the feminists. And Sarah Paulson played one of the feminists, I think. It was such a good series. It was really good. It's like a mini series, docudrama. You know, that was really good. But I can't remember. I think it was really about Kate Blanchett's character, I guess. But also there was a few really famous feminists that were dramatized in it as well. It was really good. So 2022, a film that I had to see because I heard of it, but more importantly, when this writer-director, this film auteur, does another film that recently comes out called Weapons, and everyone's talking about it, and then everyone's comparing it to his other film. Well, I'm thinking, well, I need to see this other film. Before I see Weapons, I need to see this other film. And then I had a look to see if I could find it, and I found it. I think I found it on... did I see it on... I think I saw it on Disney Plus, but I don't know. It might have been on Prime, Amazon Prime. But it's Barbarian. So it's written and directed by Zach Kreger, who eventually did Weapons as well. So I'm going to see Weapons now because that's appeared on my TV thing. So I'm going to see Weapons. That's supposed to be amazing. So I can't wait for that. But Barbarian, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It's one of those films that you just don't see made very often. You don't see film as an art form being treated like that. It's a horror film, but it's a horror film that is so unpredictable. It's so weird, but it's not weird in a psychedelic way. It's weird in a just how unpredictable it is. It uses real life situations. There's nothing supernatural about it, but it's really incredibly creepy. It's just phenomenal. And it starts off and you think it's going to be a certain kind of film. In the first 10 minutes, you've got this woman that's going to this job interview, and she's in the middle of nowhere, and she's in this little town, and she's rented out this B&B, Airbnb, sorry, not a B&B, an Airbnb. So obviously just like a room in a house. And there's this guy that opens the door for her, and she's like, oh, is it just you? And he's like, yeah, I'm the only one here. And you just feel like she's putting herself in a dangerous situation because there's this guy there. And then that's completely not what's going on. And it just goes off on such a mad tangent. And the tangent is like, your jaw drops about 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, and it just stays dropped. You're just like, what have I just watched? At the end of it, as the credits are rolling, you're like, can I get my breath back now? You know, and it's so inventive. It's so creative. Barbarian. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. So I'm expecting Weapons to be that kind of creative, because people did say that you could tell it's the same guy. You know, a lot of people said they preferred Barbarian, but I don't think that's necessarily because of Weapons not being as good. It might be just a preference that they like the particular setting and plot of Barbarian. But yeah, absolutely incredible film, unbelievable. I can't. There are no words to describe how shocked and impressed and flabbergasted I was. I was watching this for the whole thing. But occasionally I was sending a message, because I knew she's watched it. Occasionally I was sending a message to my daughter going, oh my God, this film is ridiculous. And then she'd go, yeah, wait till you see the next bit. And I go, oh my God. And she go, yeah, wait till you see the next bit. It was like that. So yeah, Barbarian. If you get a chance to see it, if you think you can stomach incredibly tense thriller stuff, because it's not really, I mean, it's horror, but like I say, it's real life people in jeopardy from strange things being like happening to real people, if you like. If you think you got a stomach for that, definitely watch it. It's unbelievable. Barbarian. Wow. Weapons is great. So Constantine Weapons. Yeah, I really do want to see that. I'm going to be watching that. Now I've done this, I feel like I'm not just racking up loads and loads of films to talk about. So I'll be watching Weapons this week for definite. So that one I was kind of leaving a little bit because I wanted to make sure that people were here. Although ironically, the numbers went down anyway, so there's more people watching this early part than now. So yeah, Barbarian. Right. So that's the Paul McCartney one, the 2 Troll films, Barbarian, Ballad of Horse Island, Platform, the Minecraft movie, Run, and then and Inside the Manosphere. And then I also watched, this was just a bit of fun, and I knew the second one had come out recently. I thought, oh, well, I'll watch it. And it was all right. Again, this was probably the lowest quality out of all of them, but I didn't not like it. I actually thought it was quite a lot of fun, and it is deliberately frivolous and mad, and it is definitely a horror film, and that's Ready or Not. And again, this goes back to what we were saying, that horror doesn't necessarily mean supernatural, because it's a horror film, but it's because a family are trying to murder a newlywed bride in their house because it's family tradition. Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun, and I kind of saw where it was going, but I didn't know which characters would die. So I thought she'd survive, but I didn't know who else would survive. And I think the film plays with that a bit, and it definitely plays with some kind of conventions as far as some of the deaths you get in serial killer films, and don't go in the basement kind of films. It definitely, it's got the kind of, it's not quite as well. Yeah, it's got the kind of humor and self-awareness that Scream has got. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Bob says, check out Mercy. Oh, that's the one where he's strapped to a chair and he's got to prove his innocence to an AI, isn't it? Which I was going to check that out actually. So I'm not sure what to expect. It was one I definitely didn't want to see in the cinema, but I am definitely going to check it out on my free service. Well, free, not really free, but you know what I mean. Cheap service. Catching the rest in a bit, off to watch Grimm. So Elaine's watching Grimm. We watched that religiously when it was on. So we were big fans of the Grimm series. I especially like the first sort of 3 seasons, I guess, when it started talking about the second coming and like the new Lord of the Grimms and all that. Wasn't quite as fun. They started messing around with the birth of someone was pregnant towards the end. I remember that. Then it got a little bit more. I didn't like it as much, but yeah, I think the sort of Monster of the Week kind of style was fun, and it was really good. And I liked the character, his best mate, who's the wolf. I thought he was really good. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Grimm series. Jeff's got to go. Really fun conversation, Gareth, but sadly I have to run. Work beckons. Yeah, absolutely. He works funny hours, and he's in Japan. So thanks, Jeff, for hanging out for a minute. Appreciate that. So that was Ready or Not from 2020. Oh, I didn't write it down. I think it was 2024. I think. Okay, so the next one. Am I now doing this in order? I don't want to leave anything out. Oh, I've left one big thing out. I'll get to that in a second. So the next one was I watched this with. Oh, hold on. Monroe, awesome character. Monroe. Oh, as in from Grimm. Yeah, absolutely brilliant character. I'm obsessed with Daniel Day-Lewis. What's your favourite of his performances? Daniel Day-Lewis, he's brilliant in Gangs of New York. I still haven't seen There Will Be Blood, and I ought to watch that. Daniel Day-Lewis. Obviously, My Left Foot is phenomenal. He got an Oscar for that, quite rightly. Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh, I tell you what, there was a film that I got really into when I was a teenager, and it was an important film for me as an older teenager, just kind of, I don't know, coming of age kind of film, and that's The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and that was Daniel Day-Lewis and Juliette Binoche, and Lena Olin. Philip Kaufman directed that. Yeah, I really like that film, so probably go with that, even though that's not necessarily one of his most popular ones. But yeah, Graham might be coming back. Okay, cool. Elaine says, "Take care, everyone." So yeah, that's my favourite. I just noticed that was George that said it. So what's your favourite Daniel Day-Lewis film, George? I'd like to know. Anyone now watching this, you missed the beginning, that's my nephew living in Canada. It's very cool you're here, George. So yeah, the next thing I was going to talk about was a film I saw with Ali, my wife, and she's well into the original animated film, and they made a live action version of How to Train Your Dragon. So that came out in 2025. I didn't rush to see it. It was on the thing, and we said, let's watch a film. And I knew that she liked the original. I said, do you want to check this out? And she didn't actually like it that much. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it had the same... it didn't have the same charisma as the animated one. There was something about it. Obviously, the plot points were the same. And there was nothing wrong with it. But it didn't have this sort of magical spark that I think the original did. Because I think the original animated film, How to Train Your Dragon, is a really sweet film. I really like it. But yeah, so I thought the live action version was okay. I don't really get why people keep making live action versions of animated films myself. Watch the animated films. I don't really get it. But it does make me laugh when they say they've made an animated film like a live action film of The Lion King, and it's not a live action film, is it? Because there'd be a lot of animals to try and control. So basically, it's a CGI version. So it's a different kind of animation version of the original animation version that was probably CGI anyway, just made to look like 2D animation. Very silly, but there we are. Only supporting, but loved Daniel Day-Lewis and Room with a View. Yeah. That was one of the things that sort of crept his name up in people's minds. There Will Be Blood is my favourite. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I bet you he's phenomenal in it, because I know what kind of character he plays in it, and he's very good at that kind of thing. So I need to watch it. That's a good old 3-hour film, isn't it? Paul Thomas Anderson, isn't it? Yeah, There Will Be Blood. Definitely need to watch that. So yeah. Tell me your other favourite actors. My favourite actors are people like Sam Rockwell, Jeff Bridges. Who else? Oh yeah, Constance says My Left Foot's her favourite. Yeah, great performance. Like an unusually good. I mean, let's face it. His performance in My Left Foot isn't just somebody doing a great dramatic turn. That is unusual. Like how good that performance is. You know, it's like when Eddie Redmayne played Stephen Hawking. You know, it's that kind of like you got to. Yeah, they both had to fully immerse themselves in this other person. Yeah. So yeah, that was How to Train Your Dragon. I've got 2 more left to talk about. So I'm gonna finish with the cinema appearance, which you probably know about already. But I'm gonna talk about a film that was probably my favourite of the lot. Hold on. Love Anson Mount and Toby Stephens. I don't know if I know Toby Stephens. Do I know Toby Stevens? Don't know. Anson Mount I know because of Star Trek mostly, but I know he's done other things. I think he's really good. But I can't remember. I have seen him in other things. Can't remember what it is. But I'm not sure if I've seen Toby Stevens. So tell me if something he's been in. I might just not know his name. I thought he was actually handicapped. Yeah. There you go. That shows you what performance he did. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny actually because I thought the actor, I haven't seen the film yet, only seen the trailer, but I thought the actor that played the guy with Tourette's in I Swear, I thought it had an actor with Tourette's, but they've been saying how good he is in as being someone with Tourette's, so putting that on. So clearly he hasn't got that at all. He hasn't got that condition at all. So you see him in Black Sails and Jane Eyre. Oh, okay. Well, I've seen the first 2 episodes of Black Sails. I really liked it. I watched it with my wife, but she went off it very quickly. So I was going to try and watch the rest of it on my own, but I haven't seen Jane Eyre though. Travis Fimmel is captivating as Ragnar Lothbrok. Nice character name. Ragnar Lothbrok. What are we talking about now? Travis Fimmel is captivating as Ragnar Lothbrok. Is this you saying about other actors you really like? Because I don't know Travis Fimmel either. So I'm lost. Ragnar Lothbrok. That's a great name. In Vikings. Oh, okay. That's a good Viking name. Yeah, I the Vikings thing. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I watched a bit of Vikings, and that kind of thing. That sort of tribal, very manly, masculine action thing. There's certain actors that do really well doing those kind of things, isn't there? I know what you mean. That kind of look. Absolutely. So the next film, the second to last film I'm going to mention, is directed by a guy called Babak Anvari. It's a British film, and it's from 2022. So I didn't know about this film, and it just came up as options. It might have taken a while to get on the streaming services because I think it's only just appeared, and I watched it. I'm pretty sure I watched it on Netflix. If you get hold of it wherever you're living, it's such an amazing film. It's my favorite out of the whole lot I'm talking about. It's a film called I Came By. And I did mention this in the Is This Thing On show the week I saw it. I said, you got to watch this. It's a brilliant film. It's about, it starts off with these 2 graffiti artists that are kind of like social commentators. They sort of make political statements, but they don't do anything particularly detailed. They literally just spray I Came By on rich people's walls when they break into their house. So it's kind of they just want to disturb who they think are the elites, and they just want to freak them out by breaking into their house and spray painting their walls. So it's kind of like very gentle acts of terrorism. So nobody gets hurt except the walls, and they spray paint this I Came By. So that's the setup. And all I'll say, because it's better if you know the least about it, go in there pretty blind if you can. But one of them goes out on his own into a house to do this, and he picks the wrong house. That's all I'll say. He picks the wrong house. And one of the big characters in it is played by Hugh Bonneville, who's famous for being in Downton Abbey. He's the butler in Downton Abbey. But in this, he plays this absolute arsehole and I won't tell you why he's an arsehole because again that'd be a spoiler. But yeah, his character, his acting is completely different. A really interesting character, and it's a very important film, I think, because it's got a political thing it's saying, as well as it's a very thrilling film. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's brilliantly written. Every line of dialogue is perfectly written. It's just got a fantastic script. It's tense as anything, and it's just brilliant. So I Came By. If you get a chance to watch it, from 2022. It's a brilliant film. And then the last one I'm going to talk about, which I've already talked about, but I'll talk about it again. Oh, hold on. See, I need to check these comments as well. Hugh Bonville was Lord of the Downton Abbey. Oh, it was the Lord. He wasn't the butler. He was the Lord of the. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I can picture the butler now. Sorry, yeah, he was the male lead, if you like. Yeah, the Lord of the Manor. That's right. And I don't watch it. It's too posh for me. But that's right. I said that wrong. He wasn't the butler. I know he's playing the butler now. Yeah, very different kind of actor. So yeah. Still a very different role though for him. So you honestly, if you get a chance to see I Came By, does that sound right? I and then came, CAME by BY. Really, really good film. And then just to finish off, this year, is it the only cinema trip I've made this year? That'd be mad if it is. It can't be. Is it the only? I failed in my attempt to go see The Running Man. I cocked up the tickets. That was just me being an idiot. But I saw Project Hail Mary. And Project Hail Mary blew me away. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I love the book. I thought the book was really good. And it's a brilliant adaptation. So there's a lot of hype for it. The trailers were getting a lot of excitement. And lots of people were saying in the previews that they loved it. And people were saying it's a masterpiece, blah, 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 blah. So I was going in with high expectations. But I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I was so pleased that they followed the book with the ending as well. Because I think the ending is surprising to some extent that the ending, because they did the ending in the film, because it's not a normal ending. I'm not going to say why if you haven't seen it yet or if you haven't read it yet. But yeah, there's a couple of surprises in the story, and the film does it really well. And I just loved it. Really, really loved it. So well done to all those who made Project Hail Mary. So Heidi says, I love Ragnar Lothbrok. The show was not the same without him. Oh, spoiler. Also, Anson Mount was great in Hell on Wheels, a show about creating the railroad in 1868 across the West. Oh, okay. Hell on Wheels. I don't know if I've got access to that. I'll have to have a look to see if it's around. Yeah, I think Anson Mount's really good. I just don't remember what else I've seen him in. I've definitely seen him in something else besides Star Trek. But I don't know what else I've seen him in. So yeah. So any of those films, if people are watching, any of those films sound interesting, maybe? I mean, honestly, there's only two that I thought were just okay. So that Run was just all right, and Ready or Not was just all right. No, and How to Train Your Dragon, then maybe those three were just all right. Probably Ready or Not was better than that. I think Ready or Not was good, but all the others I thought were really, really good. Even Minecraft I thought was a lot of fun. But yeah, lots of really good stuff, and quite a variety of styles as well. Yeah, you've got crazy intense stuff like Barbarian, but you've got very gentle drama, character-based drama with Ballad of Wallace Island. With a really nice soundtrack as well, because they were singing this folk duo stuff. So Constance is curious about Barbarian. Were you the worst person that said you liked Weapons as well? Because if you like Weapons, then clearly you might like just the director's style. And yeah, yeah, some good stuff there. So we'll see how we get on next month. Don't know what I've got on my radar. What was it? Next month's May. There is the big film coming in May, isn't there? What's the big film coming out in May? It's not Spider-Man's not out yet, is it? That's going to be later in the summer, isn't it? Oh, here we go. So George said Barbarian was so fun and spooky. I watched a trailer for I Came By after this. Yeah, watch the trailer. So it's good you've got access to that. So that means Canada has access to I Came By. Yeah, Barbarian is fun. I like the idea that you thought Barbarian was fun. Jesus Christ, so tense. Another TV show you should watch was Turn. Oh, okay. Oh, Turn Washington Spies. Turn. Okay, I don't know that one. I need to write it down. I swear I just saw a pen. Ralph, have you got the pen? Wait, Ralph, where's the pen? Shall I do a? Do you want to say? Well, you awake? He is such a state now. Disclosure Days come out in May, so Spielberg's new one. I thought I saw that Jordan Peele was doing a new one, but I don't know. I might have imagined that. I was watching some really creepy Jordan Peele sketches today. I'm gonna get Ralph to say hello. You were asleep, weren't you? Say hello to the audience. Say hello. Oh my God, you look so old. Look. Say hello. Hello. I think those are the only two teeth he's got left. I'll put you back. I'll put you back. Turn Washington Spies is about the Culpeper spy ring that George Washington created. Okay, Jamie Bell's really good. That's interesting. Oh God, yeah. Of course it is. I knew there was a big thing coming out. Mandalorian and Grogu. I can't wait for that. I'm a big Star Wars fan. So yeah, that's a big one. Absolutely. Oh my God, George Sinners was amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's another film where you just go, what the hell? Never seen a film like this before. I did a video just about Sinners on my channel. And yeah, the music's amazing, but the whole thing it's clever, it's compelling, it's tense, the acting's amazing, everything about it's amazing. Yeah. I don't know if Ryan Coogler could ever make a film as good as that again. Everything is just at the right place. It's just fantastic. Yeah, what a great film, Sinners. If you haven't seen Sinners, you should definitely see Sinners. I guess that is the best horror film I've seen for years. So I was saying how much I love Barbarian, but Sinners is on another level because of the music as well, and the atmosphere. Well, I suppose that's true for Barbarian. Yeah, this it's an interesting thing about horror, isn't it? That you can do so many great things with the genre. You know, you can be really original with horror in a way that sometimes you can't with some other genres. Very difficult to make an original Western, isn't it? Although the most original Western I've seen for a number of years was Bone Tomahawk. That was the original one, but then it kind of becomes a bit of a horror film as well. But that was original. But it's hard to be original for some genres, I think. Another TV show, Nightfall, about the Knights of the Templar. Oh, okay. I probably wouldn't have watched that just because I don't normally go for historical drama, but yeah, I could check it out as it's a recommendation. Although I don't see where I was making a joke about Ralph nicking the pen, but I don't know where the pens are gone. No. I'll check it out on the I'll see where I've got access to it. Nightfall. I might have. So do you watch more TV than films then, Heidi? You watch a lot of TV series. We're watching Daredevil, which is phenomenal. But we started watching the latest Game of Thrones thing about the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Started watching that. What else have we watched? What do we watch now? We did recently finish watching something, and then it was Wednesday we were watching, and so I like the Wednesday series. What else were we watching before that? I can't remember what we were watching before that. It's obviously Penguin series. If you've been watching the Penguin series, that's amazing. Aaron's here. Hi, Aaron. Nice one. Just watched Project Hail Mary. Awesome. How did you watch it? Is it still in the cinema? Is it? That'd be amazing if it's still in the cinema. That means it's doing really well. It's been in the cinema for ages, if that's true. Tell me if you've seen it in the cinema. Or if it was like, did you buy it by renting it out on Amazon or something? I'd like to know. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. George says goodbye. Thanks, George. We need to catch up. I may have used pirate tactics. Well, as long as the picture was okay and the sound was okay, don't sell yourself short and watch a film with crappy picture. Do you know what I mean? Before I discovered BookTube, I watched many TV series, but since then, not really anything. But just recently, I discovered all the Andrew Davis BBC adaptations on a free library streaming app. Yeah. I mean, I understand we've only got so much time, but I made a conscious effort to try and watch more films, which is partly why covering them on the channel also helps me to log what I've watched, and it makes it more fun as well to talk about it. So that's why I wanted to do this catch-up video, because the other videos I'd done where I was like looking at the films I'd seen. So I do think that obviously we love reading and we love covering them on the BookTube videos, but I think there's lots of different types of art, and TV and video and TV and movies are awesome. So you can get some great things happen. Did you, as Heidi, have you watched the Penguin series, the Batman spin-off one with Colin Farrell? It's like watching The Godfather. It's amazing. You've seen that. My husband and I watched the movie Saturday night when there's no hockey on. Fair enough. Yeah, people who love sport, obviously their time is taken up by watching hockey games or basketball or football or American football we have over here as well. Tennis, if you're into tennis, there's tons of tennis on TV all the time. Snooker as well. If you're into snooker, that's always on TV. So I get the golf. This is golf. If you're into sport, then you probably wouldn't have time to watch any other TV, I guess. Oh, here it is. There's the pen. So I'm gonna write this down before I go. A couple of recommendations. So we've got Washington Spies. Okay, so Constance liked Penguin but didn't like the last episode. Oh, I literally thought it was incredible the way through it. I can't remember the last episode being not good. I don't have HBO, but I love Colin Farrell as he's involved with adult special needs causes because of his son. Yeah, that's true. He has that in his family, as do I. I don't know if you've if you caught me on there's one year, I think it was the year before last, I did a video on Down Syndrome Day about my sister. I don't know if you caught that, but it ends up being a lot more of a personal thing when it's in your family and you know what it's like to have it in your family and to live with whatever it is that brings those special needs. Have you seen the Ballad of Wallace? That's one of the ones I've talked about, Aaron. So right, if you go right back to the beginning, it's the 4th film I talk about. and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, Aaron. I thought it was a brilliant film. I thought I'd just nip in to see if if I'm still watching it in 20 minutes, then clearly it's fine. But I thought there was a chance I might drift off and not be that bothered about it. But I think it's a brilliant script, and obviously Tim Key's very likable, so he sells that really well. But the three main actors, just do the whole thing so well, and it's brilliant. Absolutely, I definitely recommend it. If you get a chance to see The Ballad of Wallace Island, it's the most gentle film out of all the ones I've just covered, because some of them have been quite hectic. But The Ballad of Wallace Island is the opposite of hectic. Such a beautiful film. I thought the music was good. Yeah, I thought the music was really nice. It kind of reminded me a bit of Inside Llewellyn Davis as far as the sound of the film, not the tone of the film, because I'd say the tone of the film is definitely set by the setting, it being this remote Scottish island. But the sound of the film reminded me of Inside Llewellyn Davis. But yeah, which is also Carey Mulligan, isn't it? Both of them are Carey Mulligan, which is maybe why they thought of casting her. But Ballad of Wallace Island, such a good film, and a real surprise. I didn't know anything about it. It just appeared on my options for what I could watch. Thought I'd give that a go, and it doesn't always work. I did that a couple of other times with things recently that I've covered in previous videos that were just bordering on not good, but kind of, because I'm a very half full kind of guy, I thought it was all right. But I think most people would watch some of those films and just go, well, that's just bad. So it doesn't always work, but with that one, definitely did work. Saw the video about Kaya. Okay, it was wonderful to be reminded sometimes I'm not alone. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great, Heidi. That'd be really cool. Yeah, there was one that was the Templars, wasn't it? The Nightfall. I think it might have been called Nightfall. I'm not sure. But yeah, please send me the email. That'd be good. Another good music film is Good Vibrations. Oh, about the undertones. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. What's that on, Aaron? Is it on Netflix? There's lots of good Netflix documentaries, isn't there? Shows like Orphan Black, Mozart, In the Jungle, and Taboo. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. So, yeah. Always looking for stuff to watch with my wife, because she doesn't watch a lot of the films that I watch. But what we're doing now. So Daredevil will finish soon. And we've got a new series of Taskmaster that started. I love that show so much, which is very different, obviously. It's on iPlayer. Oh, it's on iPlayer. Okay. So the Good Vibrations one is on BBC iPlayer. Yeah, it's funny actually, because ITVX, like the app you can get for one of our commercial stations, has films on it randomly as well, which is kind of weird. Constance says a biopic with Paul Dano as Brian Wilson is really good as well. Yeah, Paul Dano's great. That's really good that they cast him as Brian Wilson. I've seen it around, but I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, first time I saw Paul Dano was in Little Miss Sunshine, which is one of the best films ever. I love that film, Little Miss Sunshine. I'm sure you've all seen Little Miss Sunshine. It's a brilliant film. Who's seen Little Miss Sunshine? I think that might have been the first time I saw Steve Carell as well, actually. It was a while back, and he's obviously become mega famous now. But I'm pretty sure it was the first time I've seen him. I knew Alan Arkin, obviously, and I knew Tony Collette as well. But yeah, I think so. I think that was the first time I've seen Steve Carell. But yeah, and that's how I met Paul Dano. Not met him, but when I first met him as an actor was Little Miss Sunshine. Someone must have seen Little Miss Sunshine. Come on, tell me you've seen Little Miss Sunshine. If not, you need to see that film. You must have seen it. The whole place has gone quiet. You must have seen Little Miss Sunshine. That's like asking if people have seen. Actually, it's not the same, is it? Maybe it's not quite as mainstream as I thought it might be. I was gonna say it's like seeing if you've seen Jaws, but it's not, is it? That'd be stupid. Jaws is a huge blockbuster. Little Miss Sunshine is a little indie film, but I think a lot of people have seen it. Yeah, I don't know what to watch. Well, I'm gonna obviously be covering The Mandalorian and Grogu, possibly not in its own video, but I can't wait for that. Big Star Wars fan. Yeah, Constance watched it. Little Miss Sunshine. It was the most amazing ending. If you go in blind and nobody tells you about the film, it's so brilliant when they finally get to the pageant and their daughter does that dance. It's so brilliant. Such a good film. Family drama stuff, but with a lot of humor. Very much an indie film. Yeah, just really good. So I would say, because when I watch the Oscars, I always tend to root for the whatever's up for best screenplay. I don't know what it is, but my kind of films, they usually get the Oscar for screenplay or adapted screenplay. I don't normally, sometimes, but not that often, love the films that get best film. And having a look at this list, Ballad of Wallace Island's got a fantastic script. Barbarian would have won like sound design maybe and direction maybe if it was if those kind of films were given any time by Oscar people. I think Project Hail Mary's got a really good script. And I Came By has got a really good script. I think the rest of them are more spectacles, I guess. And I'm not going to suggest that Minecraft movie has got a great script. It's fine. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I do tend to gravitate towards the ones that I really treasure, if you like, are the indie films that you don't know much about. Like we mentioned Snowpiercer. And obviously the guy who did Snowpiercer also did Parasite. And Parasite is an amazing film. He did get the Oscar for that. But I went in blind with that. So if you don't know much about the film Parasite, the Korean film, don't look it up. Don't look up what happens. Don't watch the trailer. Don't just watch it. Watch Barbarian Sound Studio with Toby Jones. Okay. You just reminded me of another one I keep meaning to watch, and I keep forgetting to put it on my radar. It was on my radar for a bit, and that's I think it's called The Sound of Metal, and it's about a drummer who's going deaf, and I really want to see that. It's oh god, what's his name? The guy who plays him is a brilliant actor. He's a British Asian actor who was in Four Lions, and he was in Rogue One as well. Oh, what's his name? If Aaron's still there, he probably knows his name. But he plays the main character, this drummer that's losing his hearing. And I think it was probably quite an emotional film to watch. But I definitely want to see that. God, I'd hate to lose my hearing. So can't imagine not being able to listen to music. But yeah, this is about a drummer that's yeah, Riz, yeah. But what's his other name? You are right. It's that actor. I think he's brilliant. His first name begins with an A, doesn't it? Is it Ahmed? Oh, I could just look it up. But anyway, I won't look it up. Well, I could look it up. I'll look it up quickly. Is it Ahmed Riz? It seems wrong. That seems wrong. I think we're close. We are definitely close. It's something like that. But he's really good. And he is the main character in this film, but appeared on, I think it's on Amazon for me, but it might be Netflix. But I think it might be Riz Ahmed. That's it. And he is in this film called The Sound of Metal, and that's definitely one I want to watch. So that's on my radar. There was another film I watched, which I know was on my original notes, but I couldn't find what it was called. It was a British film. It wasn't that great. It was all right. It was one of those films where these 4 thieves rob a bank, and they got to stay in hiding, and have to stay in hiding for 3 days or 5 days, and obviously they all end up imploding. They don't trust each other. They start taking sides, and it all gets a bit messy and very violent. And Eddie Marsan, I think his name is one of the characters in it. There's like a loose cannon character. Who plays the? Oh, there's somebody who sets them up in the. Oh, I know. It's the guy from. There's a guy who had a big role in Torchwood, the Doctor Who spin-off, and he's this kind of strange guy who ends up just taking loads of drugs and not being part of them. This is a bit of a waffle, but it's quite a good film, to be fair, but it was a bit predictable, so it wasn't brilliant, but it was a bit of fun. It was like a British crime caper that ended up being quite violent by the end of it. But yeah, that was another one I saw. So I've just talked about 14 films, but I can't remember what that one was called. I'm going to look it up just so I can include it, because I definitely. What was that just then? We got any more comments? I'm going to finish the live stream in a minute. But Eddie Marsan, there we go. What's he in? Right. All the Devils Are Here. That's what it's called. All the Devils Are Here, and it was quite good. Crime caper. I like Eddie Marsan. He's an interesting actor because he does quite serious stuff now. But I think for a while he kind of played idiots. But I think he's done really well now, which is cool. He was in the 3rd of the Cornetto trilogy. He was in The World's End, which is great. Love and Mercy is a Brian Wilson biopic. Uneven. Oh, that's the Brian Wilson biopic that we were talking about. Uneven but generous portion on his creation of Pet Sounds recitation, and that's brilliant with headphones. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, which I think is why. Was it you that said about the headphones? Yeah, recording on the Pet Sounds recording. Yeah. Well, that was his big achievement, wasn't it? Although he was already, I talk about him a lot in my teaching. Brian Wilson completely transformed production, which reminds me I need to do something for tomorrow. But he totally transformed production when he was doing even the earlier Beach Boys stuff. And the Beatles and the Beach Boys kind of competed a little bit with their production. They looked at each other as contemporaries and rivals. It's kind of interesting seeing that being developed. Yeah, amazing man. But sadly, obviously, one of the victims of the overuse of drugs. Just say no, kids. So yeah, there we are. I need to look up that biopic about. I'm going to write it down. Oh no, Good Vibrations was. Oh, was it Listen to Good Vibrations with headphones? But that wasn't what it was called. Is that what you're trying to say? So the film was actually called Love and Mercy. Love and Mercy. Well, I'll look it up. I like the Beach Boys a lot. So I'm writing it down. Right. Oh, hold on. The best music documentary, according to Heidi, is about Hank Williams. Oh, like a documentary about Hank Williams. Okay. I don't know if I've got access to a documentary about Hank Williams. I'm not sure. Aaron says he loves Love Mercy too. One of my favorite documentaries I saw, this was a good few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I saw a really good one on Netflix about Chicago. That was really cool, because it had them talking about when the brass section was sacked and all sorts of things like that. But a lot about Terry Carr, is it? There's the first guitarist who was Prince's biggest influence, actually. Pet Sound segment. Yeah. Use headphones for the Pet Sound segment. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, there's some fantastic music documentaries around. I wanted to see the recent performance, the Elvis thing that came out, the concert footage, because apparently they found loads of footage that they turned into narration for the film. So I really wanted to see that, but I didn't get it, and I think it's out of the cinema now. There's also the Bruce Springsteen biopic, which I think Springsteen likes himself. I think he was involved as a consultant, so that might be cool to watch. Is it teachable? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to show a whole film, but if I got access to it, I could take out a chunk of it and show a bit of it. So yeah, I do teach that, what he did. So it'd be interesting how the film covers it. If the film covers it in a way that helps me to get it across, that'd be good. Sometimes, you'll have a film that, like a good example, actually, recently I was talking to them about pirate radio in the UK, and there's a film that really gives you the atmosphere of what they did at the time, called The Boat That Rocked. And it's a funny film as well. It's done by the guy who wrote Love Actually and Blackadder and all that. And it's got lots of famous British actors in it, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it as well. And it's a great film, but it also gives that vibe about how important the pirate radio DJs were and how they changed radio forever. So that's a good film to watch that actually helps the teaching. Because if I say it, that only goes so far. But if you watch that film, you really get a sense of how rebellious they were and how great it was that they were managing to do this, broadcast radio stations from the sea, The documentary about the making of Darkness on the Edge of Town is great. Oh, okay. I need to look for that. I know that the film is based around when he did Nebraska, isn't it? But yeah, I definitely want to watch that. Is that a Netflix one or is that on something else? Aaron, let me know, because I definitely want to see that as well. I'll wait for Aaron's reply. Biopics. The thing with music it's on YouTube. Oh, okay, fair enough. There's loads of stuff on YouTube. I'm always watching music related things on YouTube, but that's cool. Yeah, there's a bit of a trend at the minute for biopics to just lie, which I don't really understand. So even when the band's involved, like that ridiculous documentary about Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know if I've ranted on this channel about that film before, but really, really annoyed me. Don't understand it. It's just weird. Brian and Roger are involved in the film, and there's so many things that are just wrong. That's not what happened. So weird. But there we are. They must have had their reasons. They thought it would get better box office, I suppose, with putting some of those lies in it. Aaron, it's so frustrating. I enjoyed the film because of the music, but I kept every 10 minutes, I'd be like, well, that's wrong. That's wrong. That didn't happen. That didn't happen like that. That's the opposite of what happened. Why you put that in it? What's going on? And why did you leave it at Live Aid? So stupid. If I'd have made a film about Queen, I'm not going to go on a massive rant because it'll be another half an hour. But if I was going to do a film about, and I love the band, when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with them. I know a lot about the band, and if I was going to do a film about them, I'd actually end the film with the most incredible dramatic thing that I know about the band, and I think it would have been such an amazing ending. When they were making the album Made in Heaven, when he was actually ill, rather than when the film said he was ill, which is years before he was actually ill. But anyway, when he was actually ill and he was dying, Freddie said to Brian, just record what you want to record. When I'm well enough to come into the studio, I'll do a bit and I'll just do what I can. And you know that you're going to have to finish the album off. That would have been incredible. Can you imagine a scene like that? And then they could have ended with one of the really great songs on the last album with images of the band from the past or something. But a scene where Freddie says to Brian, do what you can and I'll go in when I can, but I'm not going to be able to finish the album. I haven't got long, whatever, you know. The specifics of what he said. Brian said it in an interview, what he said to him. That would have been the most amazing ending. And it didn't have to end on Live Aid. You know, like that's the only thing that they did that was worth watching. It's insane. So, yeah, really, really odd that they ended on that. And that they lied about when he was ill and how he got ill and how there's so many things that are wrong. The whole massive middle section of the film where it goes off on a tangent about them all falling out and him doing a solo album. They were all on his solo album. Nobody fell out. They didn't fall out. Roger was the first one to do a solo project. They all did a solo project. Every single one of them. Calm down. So did Dinny film. But yeah, the music's great. But yeah, pretty much. So annoying. So anyway, nobody's making any comments about what I just said. So clearly you all agree with me, or you haven't seen the film. But just know there's loads of lies about it. Even the way that Freddie joins the band, their previous singer, Tim Staffel, was friends with Freddie and recommended him. That's not in the film. In the film, he just randomly goes up to him and says, I hear you're looking for a singer. It's like, what are you doing? Why didn't you tell the truth that Tim Staffel actually recommended his mate, Freddie, because he didn't want to sing with him anymore? So weird. They could have ended with the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. That would have been awesome. You know? Anyway. Wasn't my film, was it? It wasn't up to me. But biopics do have this thing now, because the Elton John one lied as well. Apparently, I really enjoyed it, but I didn't know enough to know. But I've since found out that the one about Bob Marley, called One Love, that's got loads of lies in it as well. I really like the film, but that's apparently full of bollocks. I think the Elvis one was full of nonsense, apparently, as well. Why did they do it? What's the point of doing a biopic where people are going to think that's what that artist's life was like, and yet it's just not true? I don't understand why you do that. I don't get it. It's such a shame. Mercury and Rami Malek deserve better. Yeah. Well, so do Brian and Roger. That's what's so weird. That is what I don't get, Constance. That the people that looked bad, really, were the rest of the band, and they were the ones that were involved in the film. It's so strange. I wasn't a big fan of the Elton John one either. Too whiny. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen but I've heard. The reason why I haven't seen it is because I've heard there's loads of lies in it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll watch a documentary then. I don't understand why these things happen. But yeah, if it's whiny, that'd be a bit annoying. Apparently, he was a little bit whiny himself, wasn't he? Didn't Sacha Baron Cohen basically leave the film because they were whitewashing it? Well, yeah, he wanted to do a different kind of film, but I don't even know if it's a whitewashing thing, because they made the band look more fractured and less together than it actually was. So they put loads of drama in it that wasn't there. So they weren't whitewashing it. So it's like it was this perfect band. So I'd love to know what Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to put in, but I don't know. I don't understand why they did what they did. Really, people go in the States to get a fat commercial to run forever. True. Yeah. So you're saying that these biopics, the big money churners for them. Is that what you're saying? Or have I missed your point there? But yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen was going to play Freddie Mercury for ages, and then they removed him from the project because he fell out with them about the content of the film. But I don't exactly know what it was that he wanted to include that they didn't want to include. But he would have been a good match. But Rami Malek was really good as Freddie Mercury. I just don't understand the content of the film. Oh, that's why they get made. Oh yeah. To make money. Yeah. Like the Michael Jackson one is to make money. Absolutely, yeah. But it still doesn't change the fact that they could have made the money from Bohemian Rhapsody without lying about what happened in the band. Why did they pretend that they all fell out over Freddie Mercury making a solo album? You know, it's really weird. Yeah. And some of the stuff that was invented with him and Mary as well, that was a bit weird as well. There's all sorts of strange things about that film. And I don't think those things were in there to make money. It was clearly an artistic choice, but I just find it a really odd choice. I don't know what they changed with the Elton John one. If anyone knows if they changed Elton John's story so that it made a more commercial film, then that definitely backs up what Constance's saying there. But I don't know what they changed. I tell you what, I missed it in the cinema, but I'm trying to find a way of seeing it. I might just buy it. And that's the sequel to Spinal Tap. So I still haven't seen that. And I didn't see it in the cinema just because I was nervous, which is stupid because now I'm going to end up seeing it without seeing it in the cinema. I should have seen it in the cinema. But I was like, oh, because the first one is literally one of the greatest films ever made. So I should have just seen the second one. The Bohemian Rhapsody was kind of amateurish all round. Well, it's such a shame. It is very popular though. So, like you said, it did make a lot of money. But if you know what happened, then you're a bit like, oh, why are they doing that? So, yeah, I just don't get that. I mean, it's one. I'm trying to think of now some actor biopics. I saw the Leonard Bernstein one, and that was a bit of a weird one as well. That was one I covered in one of my previous videos because I saw it in the last few months. I saw it about November time, I think. And that was a weird one because the Bernstein one really just concentrated on. I mean, it covered a lot of years, but it kind of concentrated on his romantic relationships and the way that he kind of had affairs outside his wife, played by Carey Mulligan, which I don't know if that's the bit of Bernstein I wanted to know about. I don't know. Probably not. It was a great film. It was a fantastic performance from Bradley. Oh my God. How can I forget his name? Well, anyway, the guy who wrote and directed the film, who also played Bernstein, can't believe I just forgot his name. It's Bradley something, really, really mega famous man. Clearly, I'm getting tired, but there was a great performances from him and Carey Mulligan. But again, they focused on a particular part of his story, and that's what they thought would get people interested in the film, I guess. Bradley Cooper. Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper, yeah. Constance's got it. yeah, yeah, I think the man's brilliant. I thought what he did with A Star Is Born is phenomenal, and then the look and the direction of Bernstein is brilliant. But clearly, as a director and a writer, he decided to focus on that part of Bernstein's life, and I'm just not sure if that's what I would have done. I don't know. Script wise, so the script was a bit amateurish. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So the biopics are a funny little beast, aren't they? I don't know. I think it might be because people do biopics to make a particular point about someone. You know, they've got an angle. You know, I mean, if you did a biography of Charlton Heston, I bet you'd probably do it where you'd focus on the NRA stuff or something, probably because he's notorious for that. Or if maybe on the other side of the fence, if you did one on Kirk Douglas, maybe there'd be stuff about his liberal politics and his struggle to get Spartacus made, his production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on the theatre, things like that. You know, so there's always an angle in there. You know, I haven't seen these films, but yeah, these films haven't been made. But do you know what I mean? It's like the biopic isn't just this is what happened. It's like we're going with this, or we're going to concentrate on this. This is the bit that we think is juicy, you know. So I think that's why you can get these films that twist the truth a little bit, you know. No, we didn't do a live for Lost this week because Dave wasn't around, and we'd rather do it all together. So we've decided to hold back a little bit. So we're not going to do 6 episodes next week. We're only going to do 3. So we're watching it a bit slower last week and this week, and we'll get together next week when we're all back. So yeah, I mean, we do it on Dave's channel anyway. So when he said I'll do it without me, but that was a bit weird. We wouldn't want to do that. Aaron said, I've heard the new Jeff Buckley documentary is good. I think usually docs are better than biopics generally. Yeah, I think I think a documentary tries to be more truthful, and a biopic, I think they seem to have the excuse that because it's a biopic, they don't have to be correct. They have to tell the truth. But I don't really get it, because to me, a biopic is just a documentary where actors are playing the parts. But if you're like me, you're expecting it to still say the truth. But yeah, when people make biopics, they give themselves the excuse that it's not a documentary. So they'll twist the truth a bit. They'll tell a bit like white lie. They'll exaggerate something, or they'll focus on something that gives you a misleading impression of someone. But with documentaries, they don't tend to do that. So yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Especially if a documentary is just made up of live interviews and stuff, because that's another thing, that sometimes you can watch a documentary and there's only little tiny bits of narration, but actually most of what you're watching is the person themselves talking, and you can't really lie if you're using mostly actual footage. So, you know, I think that's quite a successful way of making documentaries as well. So your narration's just tying things together. I saw a great documentary on Nat King Cole. That was really good. That was on Sky Arts. So it was probably an actual film that was made. But that was really good. One on Nat King Cole. There's one on Nina Simone I really want to watch, actually, that I think is on Netflix. I think it was made by her daughter. Has anyone seen that one? Has anyone seen the one on Nina Simone? I'd love to see that. It's also like, because now I'm thinking about other music biopics, like a film I really love, but I know they were a bit liberal with the truth, is a film called Cadillac Records. Has anyone seen Cadillac Records? It's about chess records. So it's about Leonard Chess, and therefore it's about Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter, and Etta James mostly. Mostly those are the 5 characters that the film's about. And I love that film, but I know that it romanticized a couple of elements of their story. In real life, Little Walter didn't die in Muddy Waters' arms, but in the film, he does. So I think he died in a similar way, but he didn't stagger to Muddy Water's house so that Muddy Waters could hold him. So, you know, that's a film. I don't know if that's as criminal as the lies they did in Bohemian Rhapsody, which is weird. So I don't know. That's kind of romanticizing the end of Little Walter's life. And I think Etta James's story is slightly twisted as well. If you don't know the film, Beyonce does an amazing performance as Etta James in it. She's fantastic in it. And Jeffrey Wright plays Muddy Waters, and he's amazing in it. But I do love the film, but I know that they were a bit liberal with the truth. So again, biopics and real problem with sticking to what actually happened. How did we get onto the subject of biopics? Did someone say they just saw one? We were talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. Who mentioned that? Oh, it might have been. Oh, it's probably talking about Brian Wilson, wasn't it? That's how we got on that. Oh, it might have been as well me talking about Sound of Metal, maybe as well. Music related films. Yeah. There might have been Aaron talking about the Beach Boys one. The Beatles. If you look at, I tell you what, if you look at the Beatles stuff, there's a new Beatles film coming out, isn't there? And if you compare all the Beatles biopics, I've seen a few of them. If you compare, probably Backbeat is the best one. I love Backbeat. I thought it was a great film. But that was about, was it Peter Sutcliffe? Is that what his name was? That tells me that's a serial killer, isn't it? I can't remember his name. But the first drummer before Ringo Starr replaced him. That's Backbeat's about his story. It's a really good film. But if you compare something like that with the Get Back series, this literally documentary stuff, 3 parts, 3 hours long each, 9 hours of actual footage of the Beatles, then that's the truth. That's and obviously the longer it is, the less editing is involved, so the less chance of Peter Jackson directing you to a certain opinion. And you know, that Get Back series is really interesting. I've still need to see the third part, but I think the third part is like the lead up to the rooftop performance. But the first 2 parts are so brilliant. They're really interesting. Stuart Sutcliffe, that's what it is. That's like Peter Sutcliffe is a serial killer. Stuart Sutcliffe, that's right. I love it. Let's go back to these. So that was you've already said. And then I'm sort of dreading the Beatles one. We'll watch it though. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who know a lot of facts about the Beatles. They've got to get the Beatles one right. There'll be people outraged if they get that wrong, but they probably will. Yeah, someone said good vibrations, we're off. Yeah, absolutely. Ever asked Alexa for a movie recommendation? I don't know. I think it's turned up quite low at the minute. Alexa, what would you recommend as a good music biopic movie?
From justwatch.com. Some of the best music biopics include Ray, based on the life of Ray Charles, Straight Outta Compton, telling the story of NWA, Bohemian Rhapsody, retelling the story of Queen and Freddie Mercury.
No, we just said that one. Okay, so that was 3. So Alexa just suggested Ray, about Ray Charles, which is a really good film. Straight Outta Compton, about NWA, which I haven't seen, but apparently it's really good. And then Bohemian Rhapsody, which we've just been discussing is not great. So, yeah, I'm not sure, Alexa, that was a good shout. I'm not sure.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're saying. Yes, Get Back was sensational. It was really good. So I still got the third one to watch. Maybe I should watch that in the next few days. It'd be good. But the first two parts were so good. There's a great bit where probably the best bit of the whole thing I've seen so far, and it's a bit out of order really, because they record John and Paul having a private conversation. When John turns up late, they kind of are wondering whether he's going to turn up at all. He's so late, he's like 2 hours late, and he turns up, and he just straight away goes up to Paul and says, "Can I have a word?" And then they yell out, and then they both want to have a private. They know that the band's disintegrating. I think John's fed up at this point, to the point of wanting to leave at this point. But they've definitely got these things they want to get off their chest, and they say, "Can we just have a private chat away from the cameras?" And the cameramen agree, and then they go off into this other room. But what they didn't know, which is what's in the documentary, is that they'd secretly put a mic in these flowers when John and Paul were having this conversation. So it wasn't a private conversation at all. And both of them are saying, you know, their frustrations about the decision making in the band, and they both feel like the other person takes over. It's a very real conversation. And obviously I've been in a band for 20 years, and everyone says it's my band now, and I'm the only person that's been in every lineup. And it's hard because you don't want to be the leader. You don't want it to be seen as your band, but everyone just wants there to be one person. They kind of make you become like that. And I had a lot of sympathy for Paul in the first episode of Get Back, because you can see that he's trying to just get something going, and they're all fed up. There's this massive air of cynicism for the whole thing. And he's trying to get people to do something. Go, well, how about we do this? How about we do that? And he's really trying. But he was kind of criticized for being pushy at the time. And then in this second episode, where you get this weird conversation that they think is private but isn't private, you get them talking about their frustrations with working together. And it's just it's such a real conversation. It's brilliant. But again, it was out of order. They recorded it though, because it should have been a private conversation. Unbelievable. It's mad how much good stuff they come up with in about 18 months. Loads of their good solo stuff, plus the last 3 albums. Oh, what you mean after they split? Do you mean like the 18 months following their decision to not do anymore? Is that what you're saying? They had like, or you mean within 18 months they had the last 3 Beatles albums and good solo stuff? I think that's what you mean, and I agree actually. Yeah, the last Beatles stuff is brilliant, and what they did afterwards, I think they all get that sense of freedom where they can just try something else, and I think it pays off, you know, because they can relax a little bit and do what they want, which is what I was watching. I was watching earlier a documentary about Sting and the Police. They were saying the same thing. Hold on. Around this time, they were making Get Back. You see them practicing solo stuff. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, that in their minds, they'd already left. You know, I do feel like that you get that sense in Get Back that they're all, except Ringo. Ringo just wants to play drums. But the other 3, they get their mind on something else now. I don't think they're that bothered about sharing their songs with the other members of the band. They just want to do the songs. And obviously, they become solo projects. So yeah, it's very interesting, their body language and the spirit of the room and the spirit of what they're saying when they're doing all that. I think it's such a fascinating. It's what's so fascinating is they were literally 4 of the most famous people in the world. The whole situation was untenable. You can't be in a band in that situation. They couldn't play live. They stopped playing live years before. It was so obvious that it was just a very difficult situation that they would feel constrained by. They wouldn't feel free in that environment creatively. So that's a very specific and special thing that only they could have experienced, really, to that degree. So I do think that's really interesting. Because if it's a solo artist that gets that kind of fame, like Elvis or something, then that's one person. He can't split up from himself. So it's the fact that these 4 people had to work together and couldn't work together in the way that they would have done 5 years before. You know, that's what makes it such a brilliant documentary. What I really liked about it is how they're all still mates and joking around, because it in books about it sounds awful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a sense that they're not bothered about the documentary they're making, you know, because they're not worried about how they panic at first. Oh my God, we've got to make some good footage and we've got to write some songs, whatever. But quite quickly they just settle into just messing around, and that stuff's great. Seeing them all just enjoying themselves, especially Paul and John, who do a lot of larking about, you know, and they bring up older songs and all that, and the jamming bit. That's great to watch. So yeah, no, I know what you mean, Aaron. Definitely. Right, so I'm going to finish there because I'm actually getting quite tired, and I've got some stuff to do as well. But thank you so much, guys, for hanging out and for me reviewing those 13 films and our little conversation, big half an hour probably, on biopics. I think it's really interesting chatting to you guys about that. And if you're watching this on the replay, please comment below about what you think about all that as well, if you got to this point in the video, and any of the films that I've mentioned. And go watch The Ballad of Wallace Island, go watch Barbarian, and I Came By. Those are the 3 ones that I'd recommend out of that lot. Thanks, Constance. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay curious.